Good evening and welcome to the Pipe and Tobacco Talk podcast. It's episode 24. I'm Jim, Big Meat. With me as always, Tim, Salad Shooter, and Tim, read him the Prop 69 warning logo.
Warning. Yes, warning you all. This podcast will expose the listener to offensive, insensitive, off-putting, and otherwise socially unacceptable content known to the state of California to cause cancer. To avoid injury, the sponsors of this podcast, Big Meat and the Salad Shooter, suggest you grow a pair.
Attaboy, Tim. Thank you for MBSD Pipes.
Hey, you know...
Go ahead. No, let's cut off our sponsors.
You know, I just occurred to me as I was queuing up for this is that, you know, we're the only podcast that talks about pipes and tobacco that's called Pipes and Tobacco Talk. It's the only one. So if you're listening to this, you want to subscribe, like and subscribe, because we're the only ones talking about pipes and tobacco with the name Pipes and Tobacco Talk.
Huh. So what you're saying, Tim, is this is a BFO, a blinding flash of the obvious.
It is.
All right. Excellent. Thank you to mbsdpipes.com for sponsoring the opening as always. And we have a great giveaway for next week that we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. So we're going to do a little housekeeping, Tim. So tonight, joining us is Kurt Walker from Walker Pipe Company, and we're very excited to talk to Kurt. And I will be showing off my collection of Walker pipes as we go through the episode. Plus, we have Lance, who's going to talk about his 5 favorite pipes. And again, this is a segment that Tim and I want to do on a weekly basis. So if you want to come on and chat with us about your 5 favorite pipes, message us, email us. You guys know how to get in touch with us. We'd love to have you on to talk about your pipes. So, Tim, ever so briefly in the housekeeping. Next week, we have Glenn Tensky from Tensky on, which, excited to have Glenn on. I don't have any of Glenn's pipes, so I won't have anything to show off, but that's all right. And then we have Reed Robertson.
I have one.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's right. You've got a naked Tensky, don't you?
I do.
All right.
I do.
Well, then you could show your Tensky pipe off. Then we have Reed Robertson on the following week from Robertson Pipes. Jason Patrick from J. Patrick Pipes. Kevin Foster from Foster Handmade. Dr. Alan Harrelson from the Pipe Cottage. Mike Murphy from Pipe and Tamper. And then the following week, Ryan McCauley from Smoking Barrel Briars. If his wife does not give birth to their first child, he will be joining us on the 9th or 10th, whatever that date is. So, all right. So let's go to Lance. Lance, tell us about your 5 favorite pipes and why they're your 5 favorite pipes.
Well, I really appreciate you guys having me on. In fact, I'm sorry, one of my animals drug my bag across the floor with my things in it.
That will happen.
That happens here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lance.
You're fine.
I'll start off real quick. So this is a little LaRocca billiard I bought at Tinderbox.
All right.
When I very first started, and it's amazing how much grain, there's a little bird's eye in there and whatnot, fun little smoker, cool little pipe. About a year ago, got a little EMC, custom cobs piece. Gosh, the lighting's terrible, man.
That's all right.
That's all right. You're doing
it's
good.
A podcast. Yeah, we're fine. People can see it on
True.
YouTube and kind of describe it maybe.
I think like a lot of people, I got started, stuff on Instagram, starting to follow folks, listening to things, digging around in my own kind of exploring and whatnot. I stumbled upon EMC's pipes, and I just thought they were great. I think Eric does a great job. Little Savinelli, the 310, which I really enjoy. it's kind of a online. They look smaller than they are, but it's actually a pretty good sized pipe. Big bowl. Um, that can definitely get you an hour and 20 minutes, no problem with that.
All right.
I had to shift gears after watching you all for a little while with your sponsor, NBSD. I picked up this Kamoy's Zulu Pebble Grain. Come on, Pebble
There you
Grain,
go. That's
which
nice pipe.
Yep.
super stoked about. And so I'm excited to get into that. That is one I have not smoked. One of my pipes that I gave you on my list, Jim, I actually cannot find. I think I just did a trip out of town about a week ago, and it's, I think, buried in a bag still.
All right. Well,
But I'll
that
definitely
happens.
say that my other favorite, oddly enough, so that is a little Canadian from Smith House Pipes. I ordered in early December, and that was a little gift to myself. Actually ordered it through the Country Squires, where I found it. Great little pipe, partially rusticated, and then the right up close to the stem was nice and smooth. I really like his work a lot. But in its place, visually, would be a little Christmas Snavinelli prints, which is pretty
Ooh.
cool.
Yeah, nice pipe.
The stem on that is really fun. That green, emerald green they did. I really like that year. But I think those for right now are definitely my favorite ones. They get used probably the most. The LaRocca does not get smoked very often. Actually, I need to work on that one some more. So it's my first pipe. I bought it in a little tinder box here in Winston, and super nice folks. But I need to work with that one a little bit more. So anyway,
All right.
yeah.
Nice. Well,
So
all right,
when-
Lance.
Thank you so much, Lance. We really appreciate you coming on and talking about your favorite pipes. It means a lot to us. Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for putting the show on too, Mr. Walker. I'm sure you're going to have a good time
Well,
with these fellas.
Thank you.
They're a hoot. I look forward to the show every week, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Hey,
thank
thank
you,
you,
Lance.
Lance.
Thanks very much.
Hey, best to you.
You
Thank
too.
you, pal.
All right,
Bye.
bye, Lance.
All right. So,
All right,
Let's
that was
get-
nice.
yeah, it was nice. He's a Savinelli guy. Kind of have to like that. He's got an EMC cob. And,
That Zulu, nice lines on that. Convoys, that's a nice pipe.
you know, I thought the same thing because I have it in the smooth version that I got from MBSD Pipes too.
Right, yeah.
You know, you guys know my predilection to artisan pipes, but every now and then, you know, I'll get a GBD or a Kamoy's or a Sav just because I like them, and I have pipe acquisition
Yeah.
disorder. So,
I'm a
Can't help
huge
it.
Savinelli fan. I love Savinellis. I have a handmade one that's my all-time favorite pipe. Savinelli handmade. It's just a gorgeous, beautiful smoking pipe.
yeah. For a
Yeah.
factory pipe, if you're going to spend, you know, $80 to $100 on a pipe, I'd probably tell you to get a Sav. Just
Couldn't agree more.
Yep. So, Kurt, let's talk about Walker Pipe Company. And while we're talking to you, I'm going to be showing off my collection of Walker pipes. And not to embarrass Kurt in any way, shape, or form, I have 10 of them.
Yay, hey. You know, although you are one of my top customers, it's one thing in my short pipe career that I have a handful of people that probably have more than 10. You know, so I guess that's good because, you know, they're coming back and buying more. But I have a small niche of people that have all purchased quite a few of mine.
So I'm going to show this one off because this is a very large billiard, which I really like. And that was a commission you made for me. That was the first pipe I got from you. Because Thomas at Tinker's Pipe says, hey, you got to get a hold of Kurt. He makes these incredible pokers. He does, you know, commission work, just get a hold of Kurt. I said, okay. So I got a hold of Professor Walker, and here we are. And that kind of took me down the rabbit hole. So let's ask you some questions about pipe making. How did you get started?
Sure.
How did this become a thing for you, Kurt?
Well, I started just pipe smoking in 2018, and just kind of, for a lot of the reason a lot of people do that. I'd never smoked before, no cigarettes, cigars, anything like that. And being a little bit of a Lord of the Rings geek, I grew up reading those books and a little romanticizing a bit of pipe smoking. And so I got really deep into pipe smoking. And then in 2020, during the COVID lockdown, I was finding myself with not a lot to do because I'm a teacher. I teach at a community college. Everything's shut. I'm sitting at home trying to teach on a computer, which is awful. It was horrible. I hated it. I still don't like it. I still have to do some online classes, but I prefer to be in person with people. But then I was finding myself with nothing to do, and my wife bought me a couple hobby blocks, and the first ones I did, I felt like, oh, I can shape this, and I just had my sander and I don't know, just a couple basic tools. And then I was addicted. And then I just started acquiring equipment. And I started with just a little bit of seed money where I took $500 and said, I'm going to buy some tools, buy some briar. And then every pipe that I sold, that just went to trying to, buy a lathe now and then buy more odds and ends, all the equipment you need and that stuff you don't need. I learned through trial and error with buying things that then, well, I don't need that, that was a waste of money. But so that was really, it was the COVID lockdown. And I think like a lot of people that make pipes, it's a very satisfying thing to do. Because when you make a pipe, first, you make something with your own hands for one, but then the feedback, when you get positive feedback from people that email you and tell you, hey, I love this pipe. It's, it's my favorite one. And they have lots of options to go to. It's very satisfying. And even though I don't make a lot of pipes, I think right now I'm probably doing like one or two a month is kind of it's kind of about what I have time for. I can't see myself giving this up anytime soon. I hope to do this, for as long as I'm physically capable to, because it's a tremendous amount of satisfaction. That's what I get out of it. I'm not making a living at this. It would be hard. It's a pretty hard thing to make a living as a pipe maker. You got to make a lot of pipes for a lot of money, or, have a factory and things like that. But I just enjoy it, and it's just a tremendous amount of satisfaction doing it.
So, Kurt, you started what, in, let's say, 20?
Yeah, it was like June of 2020 was when,
okay,
because it was my birthday's in May, and it was for my birthday that my wife got me these two hobby blocks. And so it was around June that I started working on them. And then I was like, hey, I'm going to do this. And I think I made like, it was about 10 different pipes to start with. And I'm sure they were, I don't even want to see them because I think they're probably atrocious now. You start thinking of all the things you did wrong and things that weren't right. But people liked them, and then it just went from there.
Isn't it interesting how when you look back at, because we've got about the same time on the clock. I think I started about mid 2020, and you look back at the stuff that you made initially, and you think, boy, I took that pipe about as far as I could possibly take it. And then you go to the next one, and a little more improvement, and you just keep improving. And that's one of the things that I like about the craft is it just seems like there's no end to the refinement that you can shake out, and improvement that you can continue to try to chase. And it's just a challenge to just get better and better all the time.
Oh yeah, because my a personal goal for me is that every pipe that you make, you feel like, yeah, it's an improvement. It's a little better. The stem is shaped a little better. You just the little flaws that you're reducing every time, and you're hopefully making a better and better piece. And
Yeah.
really yeah, aesthetically, that's an important thing. You want to have that improved aesthetic. But I think what gives me the most satisfaction is hearing people that say, "Oh, it smokes really well." And I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Right.
simple, because really it's what, a couple holes and a piece of wood with a stem in it, and you can make a something, like a corncob pipe that's very inexpensive. A basic Missouri Meerschaum pipe that will smoke very well for what, $5-6 is what the lowest Missouri Meerschaum is. $10 or less. Um, so I know it's not rocket science, but the fact that you make one and it does what its job is supposed to do, um, yeah, I just love that, and I love that I can look back and think, okay, look at how much better these are, and I hope that like 5 years from now I'm saying the same thing, like, wow, that I've constantly just improved this.
Right. Yeah. I'm right with you. It's uh, every one that you do, you find that a way that you can improve it, and you spend that extra little bit of time, um, you know, finding flaws and working them out, and just so that you know that if you put it under a light, it's interesting too. Also, speaking of putting it under a light, you take a pipe and you think, man, I really, I did the best I could on this. And then you take a picture of it, and the camera will capture
Yes,
things
every
that
little
your eye
flaw.
doesn't capture. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's always, I've known a few times where I've taken the pictures of it and then said, okay, no, I have to fix something on it after
Yeah,
you see
right.
it.
Back to the shop with you. Right.
Delete,
Right.
delete, delete, delete.
And then now, like, my earliest pipes, I know that because right at the beginning I didn't even have a lathe. So I was just using like a drill. I had a drill press and then a hand drill, and it's just so imprecise. And some of those early pipes I just kept for myself. And some of the early ones I have are the pipes I smoke the most. And they're ones that are deeply flawed, where the drill hole is atrocious. You're looking at the airway and you're like, this is awful. It's in the wrong spot. It's off a little bit. It's too high or whatever. I have one that I actually drilled all the way through the bottom of the bowl, and I used Mike Cainrod Piper's pipe mortar to patch it all up and then put a little patch of briar on the bottom. I've been smoking that, and that was like an early 2020 pipe. That's one I smoke like twice a week. It's a total champ, and
Yeah.
and it's and if anybody were analyzing it or looking at it, they would go, "Oh, this thing's awful. It's got a hole through the bottom. The air hole's not. It's crooked." But it's a great pipe. It smokes fantastic. I said it's at least
Yeah.
2 days a week. That is one of the I grab it, and also partly because I know I can smoke the snot out of it, and so what, right?
Right.
It's a
Right.
pipe that's just kind of a garage beater,
Yeah. Right.
and it always makes me a little suspicious sometimes about the over analyzing of the engineering. Because we do that, there's a lot of, when you first start, you're looking at all the engineering things of how the airflow should work, and you try to do it as precise as possible, but then you have one that you make that's not close to what anybody would say is the proper way to do it, and yet it still smokes.
Yeah. You find out air does go around corners.
Right.
You know.
And then you have a pipe that you'll buy that's a factory pipe, which I've bought ones, that then have a horrible whistle in them, or there's something wrong. And I know there's people that are better at like trying to dissect what the issue is than I am. but I've had ones that I just couldn't figure out, and then I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
goodbye, that pipe's gone.
Yeah. Well, there is a sweet spot in the engineering with the diameter of the chamber bore and the position where the draft comes into it. I have a pipe that I made that it's an apple and shaped pipe, and it's a bent pipe, and it fits me perfectly. I love the way that it sits in my mouth, but there's just too much airflow, and I can't keep it lit. And and even though it's just sort of like the combination of the angle, or who knows what it is, but I cannot keep that doggone thing lit. And I love the way it looks. It's a beautiful pipe, fits perfectly in my mouth, but sometimes I feel like I want to put a Roman candle in it, just a flare.
Yeah, and I do have one pipe that it was somebody gave me as a gift. That's a little more expensive pipe, like in that $400 range, which for me that's a pricey pipe, and it's not really very good. It just sits on my rack because it's beautiful, but
Yeah.
it has like airflow issues like that, and it's beautiful, it's pretty. If anybody's looking at my pipe rack, that's one they're going to pick up and look at because it's like, wow, this thing's gorgeous.
Right.
But it
Right,
doesn't
right.
do the job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the nice thing about doing, a shop pipe like that is it's in the stack of don't make that again.
I heard another pipe
You know?
maker call it his where he had his blocks that he had ruined, and he called it his like pile of shame or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure like every pipe maker, I have a bunch of blocks that are wrong, bad, holes in the wrong places, and
Yeah, I showed a disaster on Instagram one time, and Glenn Tinsky sent a comment back, "Hey, practice makes shop pipes. Instead of
that's
practice makes
absolutely
perfect.
true.
Practice makes shop pipes."
Yeah, because I have about 10 of them that are my shop pipes that are all just errors that I couldn't give to anybody.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
So that's how I guess I can add to my collection. Just make a mistake on it, and then I can keep it.
Well, I have one. It's a cherry wood that I made. Somebody had ordered one, and I was making it. And as I got down to where I was finishing it, there's a big crack in it. It was a fault, a cleft, call it, that was just naturally there. And if you put a flashlight in the chamber, you could see light through it. And let's say that it's about a 2-inch deep chamber. It was probably 3/4 of an inch down from the top. I smoke that thing all the time. It smokes great. But you'd never sell it or give it to anybody because it's got a crack in it. But that thing
Right.
smokes great. One of my favorite pipes.
I love hearing pipe makers. Yeah, I've got this one that's got a big crack in it, and I've got this one that, I ran it through the bottom and it's got plaster in it. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, the one with the plaster, that mortar, that anybody who wants to repair their own pipe that has some sort of burnout or whatever, I wholeheartedly recommend searching out Mike Cainrod Piper's YouTube video that he has on making pipe mortar with the recipe, and he tinkered with it a bunch to try to get it the right way, and it's basically just charcoal, plaster of Paris, and I think maybe salt and water. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but I've been smoking that pipe for years now, and it hasn't failed.
Yeah, it works, right?
Yeah, so
That's all that matters. Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking a couple of times now. Do you do anything to age the briar, or you're buying them from Vermont Freehand and it's pre-aged?
I buy almost exclusively from Vermont Freehand. Actually, now I do. I mean, I bought some in the past from other places. I actually bought some like directly from Greece. I bought some directly from a guy in Algeria. But now I get 100% of my stuff from Vermont Freehand. And I think especially with the rate that I make pipes as slowly as I do, everything has been sitting on my shelf for a while. And I have, like where a lot of people have pipe acquisition disorder, I have briar acquisition disorder. I have a massive now collection of briar, and I kind of keep track of. I have different boxes for when I've acquired it, and so even though most things you get from Vermont Freehand, it's already going to be ready to make into a pipe. But I have some that I bought from him that was actually has been sitting around since like 1980. So, he had some old briar. He's had a few different lots like that he's had. But everything that I have is going to be pretty well aged. Because everything I buy, if I buy some today, I'm not using it. It goes in the newest box, and I'm pulling from my older ones.
Okay.
It's one of the few things in my life that's organized.
All right.
Just ask my wife. Yeah, I'm not an organized guy. But my briar, I have it all separated in boxes between, the different types of blocks. And then, luckily I'm in a place where the climate is pretty consistent, so we don't have a lot of problems with that here in Southern California.
Yeah.
We don't have weather here.
Yeah. The climate's consistent here too.
It's consistent.
All the time.
Consistently shit. Yeah.
We're consistently pretty much the same all year round.
Yeah. Now, you said you're making 1 to 2 pipes a month. How
Yeah,
many
that's about
months
it right now.
supply of briar do you have?
I have a lifetime supply. I'm not going to run out. I'm not going to run out. I sold somebody, I think, 50 pieces of mine because I just realized I'm getting too much. So I sold another pipe maker like 50 pieces just to bring my inventory down because I was looking at it thinking I'm never going to make all these. But, maybe someday when I pass away, I'll still have some from 1980 or 1990 and someone else will get them, for 30, 40 years from now. But yeah, there's no way I'm going to get through all of them.
I understand when the zombie apocalypse happens, the first thing they do is they look for briar.
Yeah, I'm going to be set.
Uh-huh.
The world will fall apart and I'll still be able to make a pipe.
That's right.
Right.
Now, when I first met you, Kurt, you were smoking almost exclusively Elizabethan mixture. Have you changed
That is
up
still the same story. I have quite a bit of different aromatic tobaccos and Virginia blends that I occasionally, will do a little bit, now and then of something. Or like when I'm on vacation, I usually bring like an aromatic blend because I go camping. And that way, the people around me smell something nice. And you usually get people complimenting you that'll say, oh, that pipe really smells nice when it's a Lane 1Q or something like that. But at home, I smoke the Elizabethan mixture, and the other one is the Bayou Morning. No.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, there's Bayou Morning and Bayou Evening from C&D.
It's Bayou Morning. And then also I blend those together because I buy the Bayou Morning in bulk. And then I'll blend it with that so that I have my own blend that I could just call Cajun Queen. And
All right.
but that's pretty much all I do. I'm Virginia Perique. I'm a boring pipe smoker, and I know a lot of guys are really great with the flavors. I find my palate isn't as refined. I have a friend that lives nearby in the city of Fullerton, and he comes over and smokes pipes at my house, and he's always amazed that I can't distinguish the flavors the way he can, but I can't. I like, from one blend to the other, like, and I know I like Virginias, but I don't have that ability to really sort it out and figure out, okay, what's this mix like? Where he can do it. He's like a little savant with it, where he can tell you all about any blend. And for him, the tobacco is the most enjoyable part of pipe smoking, where for me, it's the experience and the pipe. I love the pipes, and I love holding a pipe. I like the feel of a rusticated pipe. Where for him, it's all the tobacco, and the pipe is kind of secondary. It's just the tool to smoke the tobacco.
All right.
Well, you're not alone in that, Kurt. I just know if I like it or I don't.
Yeah, that's about all I can say. And that always frustrates my buddy because he's like, well, what about it? I'm like, well, it's good.
Yeah, right.
I like
That's
the
all
way
I
this
got.
would taste. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I would
And I
never
can-
have a future as a sommelier or anything like that. Because same thing, I'd be like, it's wine, it's a
right.
beer.
I can tell the difference between Latakia, Virginia, and Perique. But
I
that's
can do
about
that.
as
I
far,
can do
it's about
that.
as far as I can go. Yeah.
Right. And when I first started smoking, I really liked the Latakia blends. But
Hmm.
and then something just kind of happened where then I was like, yeah, I don't like those anymore. And so I pretty much got rid of or gave away most of the stuff I had that was Latakia. I think I have maybe a couple. I have I like it's one of the old Dunhill, now Peterson blends that's a Latakia one, but I can't remember right now what it is. But pretty much all I have is Virginia Perique.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So I want to ask you about your rustication technique because I
Okay.
have 6 pipes from you that are rusticated, and all of them have a different rustication to it. So I've got this little
Ooh.
Dublin that you made that has a very deep rustication to it, and it's rusticated on the rim. And then I have my first poker from you, and it's like a medium rustication. And then I have one of your excellent shop pipes. By the way, I love this one. White stem. It's fantastic. And it is a much, it's not as deep a rustication. How do you accomplish this?
I use the same tool with all of them. It's just how much do I dig into the briar. So I use basically it's where I have 4 nails where big heavy carpentry type nails that are sharpened to a point. I grind them to sharpen them, and I have them inserted into just a wooden handle, and I basically just grind in to rusticate. And then if I want a really deep rustication, something that looks Costello Sea Rocky, then I just really dig in and maybe do it once or twice. Or I've also, I don't do this very often, but sometimes I've used a Dremel tool to dig into the briar all over it, and then follow it up with a hand nail rustication tool. So it's just all getting that hand carpal tunnel stuff going on.
Yeah. That's a you sweat, you break a sweat doing that.
Yeah.
Just the constant grinding, you end up with like one big forearm like Popeye.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one Popeye arm and
Yeah.
one scrawny one.
Yeah.
Now, the next question I have on rustication. So the last 4 pipes I've gotten from you have all been partially smooth, partially rusticated.
It's my favorite kind of pipe to make, is a partially rusticated.
And it's absolutely a fantastic look. And this one, which I just got last week, I absolutely love how part of the stummel, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see part of the stummel is rusticated and smooth, and then it goes just a little bit into the bowl, and then the rest of the bowl is smooth. Just absolutely a fantastic look. Is that more of what you're going for as you're moving forward?
Yeah, because now, like the particular pipe I'm working on right now is probably going to stay as smooth just because it's a bird's eye pipe that the grain pattern is just beautiful on it. So when it's absolutely like I just look at it and I think it's a beautiful pipe, I can't bring myself to rusticate it. But unless the grain is just gorgeous, I prefer having a rustication, and I know like part of like a pipe maker is you want to make pipes that someone's going to buy from you, and so you're thinking of customers. But when I make pipes, I kind of more think of what do I like, and if somebody else likes it, great. But if they don't, well then there's a million pipe makers for them to choose from. But I personally like the look, and I like the feel of a partially rusticated pipe, because this pipe smoking hobby, it's a tactile experience too. It's like I'm smoking my cigar right now, and I like a cigar. I belong to a little cigar club where I go, maybe once a week and hang out there and smoke cigars with some guys. but this experience is not the same. And I don't get the same enjoyment out of a cigar as I do from a pipe. And I think part of that is, there's a tactile experience to it. And for me, a good rusticated pipe, that does it. And especially if you can make the rustication with some smooth in it. I like the appearance of it. And then it still gives me that feeling, especially in the lower half of the pipe where you have that rustication feeling. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives you the opportunity to do some, variations in tone and color.
Yeah, and there's a guy, he's on Instagram. Everybody knows who he is, I think probably, but Frost Pipes.
Oh, yeah.
It's Frost. Oh, God, I just love the stuff he does. And most of what he does, there's like partial rustications, and he does these beautiful finishes and puts the color in there. And I have made a few pipes that are just outright copies of like his technique. And, I messaged him once to say, hey, I hope you don't mind, because I just love, and I don't make very many pipes like that, but I've made maybe 5 or 6 of them where you make it like a lava finish, where the rustication is deep, but then you've got red in there or something.
Sure.
And I love that with rustication, that there's lots of things you could do. And he's somebody that I love his stuff. I mean, you can't hardly buy one of his pipes because he puts it for sale and it's gone instantly. And I don't think he does commissions anymore. But that's for me, a pipe, his is one of my pipes that would be like a holy grail type of pipe, that if I could get one. But I wouldn't be fast enough on Instagram to get it.
No, and that happens to me all the time, because he has the new series, The Beauty of Death, and he had this gorgeous billiard, and it's a very deep red, kind of translucent stem. It's just spectacular. Hey, is this available? No, sold it.
Yeah,
okay,
it's gone.
cool.
Everything's gone instantly.
Everything's gone. Yeah,
but he's one of the pipe makers that I think that I don't know if I like to say the word admire, but I do. I admire. I admire his work and the way he does it, and I wish I could make my pipes half as pretty as he. I would feel very successful if I made stuff, half as good as he did.
Don't sell yourself short, because I have some very pretty pipes from you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
The last one I got, I just, you sent me the picture of it, and I just fell in love with it. The graining on it is unique, and the partial rustication, it's just... I took this to work the other day, and so my ultimate goal is to convert everybody at work into pipe smokers. And so far I've got 4.
Good man.
Yeah. And the 2 guys that are a little deeper along says, "Oh, where did you get this?" I said, here it is. Walker Pipe Company. Get on Instagram. He posts stuff periodically. Kurt's a great guy. If you want an introduction, I'll introduce you. Okay. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
How about the CrossFit guy? You convert him yet?
No. In fact, I got a meeting with them next week, and I'm pretty excited because, man, I don't know what we're going to talk about first, veganism or CrossFit, but it's going to be a good time. And I'm actually...
Should be great.
And Justin from Pipe Sports and Pals was talking about his carnivore diet to help him with some of his physical ails, and I thought, that sounds like the diet for me. I started off today with bacon and eggs. Yeah. Now we're talking. What'd you have for lunch? I all beef sausage. Yep. And I came home and had a steak. Yes, this is the diet I should be on. That's the one. So,
I like that diet.
Yeah. So, did you have a mentor in the pipe making community? Somebody that helped you out?
Yeah,
when you got started?
Neil from Garage Made Pipe Tool. Ooh. And I knew Neil before I was making pipes because I met him at the Los Angeles Pipe Club. And then we had an Orange County Pipe Club going on for a little while, because I actually live in Orange County, just south of Los Angeles. But it was only 4 or 5 guys, and it kind of petered out during COVID, and it's because the places that we would go, there's nowhere to go. And he was so generous. Very generous with his time. Even today, I still message him and ask him questions. So he's really the only, like, I would say, person who's a pipe maker that really helped me a lot. Um, Phil Rivara is also like a great resource. So I've Phil's helped me, but really it's Neil. And then of course, anybody who wants to get into pipe making, the resources are there. And I mean, it's great if you can find a pipe maker that will help you and give you advice. But there's a pipe makers forum that has pretty much an answer to just about every question you could ever have. There's so many YouTube videos from people showing you and demonstrating how to do things. There's no reason that you can't start if you wanted to, because the information is there. It's not like years ago where, yeah, you'd have to go to apprentice with somebody, and that was the only way to learn it. Now there's just endless amount of information.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Neil, GarageMate Pipe Tools, great guy. Always been helpful to me.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And as a matter of fact, we're having an LA Pipe Club meeting coming up this month. It's the first one we've had in quite a while, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Neil again, because I haven't seen him. Oh gosh, it seems like it's about 18 months or 2 years, because we haven't had any of our Pipe Club meetings. And the last time I saw him, he was actually giving me a tattoo because he's a tattoo artist.
No,
is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I just got my first 2 Neil pipes. I didn't get them from Neil. I got them from someone else, but absolutely love them. And I would love to talk with Neil some. So when you talk to him,
yeah, Neil's great.
Yeah. If you'd like to come on the show, we'd love to have Neil on, because.
Oh yeah. And when I see him, I'll pass that along you've probably have contact with him anyway, but I'll definitely tell him that he should come on with you guys. He's kind of quiet, kind of private guy. But
well,
I'm
that
sure
makes
he'll
it
come
more
on.
fun from us, But
Yeah,
we enjoy the awkward, quiet moments in interviews for a podcast. It could mean anything. That's fun.
Just stare at one another. Blink.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that with me. The only problem is you have to worry about more like shutting me up. Cut my mic.
No, we're just going to let it roll. I do want to talk to you about your YouTube channel, because I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Some of your earlier videos, how to beat a lie detector test. And you and I were in Tucson at about the same time. I was there from 2001 to 2013.
Oh, yeah, I was there.
Yep. And, I thought the how to beat the lie detector was excellent.
Did I ever arrest you? No.
No.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't been in a squad car in a bit.
Okay.
I mean, subject.
If you're going to get arrested, Arizona is one of the worst places to get arrested, because the back of that car is so friggin' hot. Oh, man.
Yep.
And when people complain about it, I used to tell them, just get arrested in a place with a better climate. That's all I can tell you. Because people want you to, it's so hot, it's so hot. I'm like, yeah, well, when you choose to smoke meth and break into someone's house in Arizona, that's what happens.
Right. That's what
You
happens.
sit in the back of a hot car.
You're going to need to make better life choices. Let's start
That's
there.
right. This is, this is all on you, man.
It's not like I was driving around and offered you a ride. No, you made me come out and get you. Yeah. Now, when did you leave Tucson? That was...
I left Tucson, I think it was 2007 or 2008.
Okay.
Gonna make my brain work here. But yeah. And that's when I came
And
out here. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, so yeah, when I left law enforcement, then I kind of I was a little aimless for a little while. I didn't know what I was going to do for a living. And then luckily I have one of my wife's uncles who I give all the credit to, where he kind of talked me into getting into education. And I'm so grateful, because then I hadn't finished a degree yet at that time. And then I got my AA degree, bachelor's degree, and I got a couple master's degrees. And, while I was working in the process of completing the master's degrees, I got my first teaching job at a high school. And then it went from there. And now I work at a community college, and greatest job in the world. No one shoots at me anymore. No one's tried to stab me or anything. And you get, I think if you're working in education with the right mindset, that you're there to serve those students and to help them get where they want to be in life. It's just so rewarding. You get thanks that you never really get like in the law enforcement world. Because in the law enforcement world, you're more likely to get flipped off than thanked, right? You know, and
Yeah, you get. It's more like thanks, asshole. Like
right.
that.
That's and you get thanks occasionally, but it's rare, and you know you can't be in that profession expecting a lot of gratitude because you're just not going to get it. You're going to be very disappointed if that's why you go into that field. But in the education world, you know, when I started at the high school, I fell in love immediately with it. And the first graduation I went to was amazing because you have parents coming over to you wanting to hug you because they're like, oh, you helped my son or my daughter, and you know, I heard about your class all the time, and you're like a kid that was quiet and never said a word, and then you figure out that you're their favorite teacher because the parents say that, and that reward from that was it's
great.
It's fantastic. And you know, and at the college I teach at, you know, I always tell people it's the last job I'll ever have. I'll never leave that job, at least not till I'm retired. But yeah, it's the last place I'll ever work.
Oh, wonderful. Are you
delete that
brainwashing?
LinkedIn. What?
Yeah. Are you brainwashing them into communism like a good teacher should?
No, I'm not. I'm the opposite. I'm the rebel on a college campus, which is okay. It's because you know what you find out is that if you're an outspoken conservative on a college campus, you know, there's always going to be people that aren't going to like that or care for that. But you also find that there are other professors that will tell you, thank you, in a real quiet way, because you're saying something that maybe they feel like they wish they could say, but they can't. But being in a criminal justice program, being a criminal justice professor, we don't really have that same worry. We're not, you know, we don't have to be as politically correct. It's not an issue. But if you're in the English department or you're social sciences, or you know, it's kind of spreading everywhere, it's much more of an issue. But like where I work and what I do, I don't have to worry about it. But when I do participate in other things on campus and I've spoken up that I don't think that's a good idea, it's nice to always get the professors off to the side that want to be like,
yeah, good call.
Right.
And I love some of the shorts you've done and your political commentary, because the current state of politics is the nicest thing I can say is terrifying. These are people leading our country, and they can't complete sentences or form a coherent thought. So,
no, no matter what, go ahead.
What's your YouTube channel, Kurt?
It's just called Professor Walker.
Okay,
yeah, and
we'll put it in the notes below.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and and I find that students of mine will say, you know, they found that, we're watching that too, which always makes me nervous, like, because you know, I don't think I'm offensive, but in the current world and climate we're in, sometimes just the fact that you have a conservative viewpoint is considered offensive. You know, you don't have to say anything offensive. You don't have to be offensive, but the very fact that you exist and the very fact that you are espousing beliefs or like a Christian worldview or anything like that, well, then that in itself is offensive.
Yeah, the fact that you have those ideas is offensive.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, I went and got my hair cut yesterday, and the lady's cutting my hair. She goes, "Oh, hi, I'm so and so. My pronouns are they and them." Oh, look at the time. I don't have any time for this nonsense at all. I'll tell you what, I won't use pronouns, and I hope that you don't either.
No, I don't. And and I think it's recommended by the college probably to have it in our bios and stuff, but I don't.
No.
I saw a T-shirt that said that my pronouns are them titties.
Yeah.
Well, I won't put that on my bio, no.
Yeah.
But I just leave it what it is. Just my name, I'm a professor, that's it.
Yeah. I'm Professor Walker. I have a beard. You figure it out.
Right.
But
I
one
used
thing
to be
I
in law
find
enforcement.
is I think it is a bit exaggerated, the power of the left in this, because I'm finding kids, a lot of the young, any of my students, I shouldn't even call them kids because they're adults, and I have students that are 50 and 60 in my classes because it's community college, so all ages are there. But I find that especially the younger students are more conservative than sometimes the adults think they are. And sometimes just by having a class or a teacher where we talk about issues, we talk about the law. And so it's not a political class, but when you're talking about the law, it comes up. What's the liberal view on this or the conservative view on, and like here in a place like California where crime is running amok right now, and we're in this social experiment where it's like, hey, let everybody out of jail, let everybody out of prison, and let's see what happens. Oh, let's arrest
Yeah.
people for a stolen car and let them out 10 minutes later. What's going to happen? We had I think it was the San Bernardino or Riverside sheriff. They had a press conference, said that they let this guy out. It was like 3 or 4 times in a 24-hour period where he was stealing cars. And they arrest him. And because we have no bail now, they just take him to jail, book him in, and he goes right out the door and then stole another car. And it was 3 or 4 within a 24-hour period. It's insanity. And so we talk about those things, and I find the majority of the students, and in like especially an intro to criminal justice or a criminal law class, these aren't people that want to be police officers, a lot of them. Most of the students, they're doing it because they're filling a general ed requirement, or it just sounded interesting on their, when they're filling out their electives, right? Oh, I'll take criminal law. So I find that the students are getting far more conservative than some of the adults think. So I'm more optimistic about the future. I don't feel that, the younger generation is a lost cause, even though they kind of have an outsized voice on TikTok and stuff with all the weirdness.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the left, they just have a big voice. You got
It's
a lot of the media.
outsized.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. And they make up the minority, but they make the majority of the noise. Because I think most people, are, conservative, have a conservative bent, but they just want to be left alone. And they don't want to be having conversations about it all the time. They don't want to fight with you about it.
No.
Right? And so,
Well,
you're not going to find them giving speeches or, protesting, that sort of thing. They just want to live their lives.
in this latest battle that's going on over like the DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, right?
Right, right.
I just saw somewhere where in surveys, most young people, the people that, and of all ethnicities, do not support it. They do not like the idea. And I know from my own experience, because I've only worked as an educator in majority communities, kids don't want to think that they're getting special treatment. That does not make any kid feel good. They don't like that. They want to know that what I'm earning is my own merits. That's a human characteristic. Humans want to know that what I've done, the work I've done, is why I achieved this. And so to me, it's insulting to say, hey, you know what? You're whatever group, and so you need help or you can't make it. That's garbage.
Right.
It's absolute garbage.
Well,
It's trying to kneecap kids and tell them, you can't do things without help. And that's why it's a very left-wing value, because it's saying, hey, you can't do this without this government assistance. And if you don't have that, you just can't be successful. And it's the furthest thing from the truth.
When they use the element that is, like skin color. That's the thing that means the least, but they make it the central focus.
Right. So our least important quality as a human being.
Right. Exactly. So you take your least important quality, and that's the entire reason why you need help.
Right. Because the most
no wonder it's insulting.
It is. I believe it's insulting, and then in the world of the faculty, that's a heretical view to have. But that's okay. I don't mind. I'll be a heretic. because I know with my students in class, my students don't really feel the way that the faculty do. The students feel differently, and the students want to be recognized for who they are as human beings, not based on what box can we put you in. And it's the beauty of, this country that we all have the ability to go and succeed and do whatever we choose to do. And who we are, where we came from, what our ethnicity really means zip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's funny also how, the people who push that kind of ideology are the ones that complain the most about the best country in the world to live in.
And I find some of them are some of the most successful people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're people with weird PhDs, and they're vice presidents or presidents of organizations, and they're the one talking about, how people can't make it. You're like, how'd you get there? How are you in charge?
Well, I think the best example of this for me is the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra for 15 years did blind tryouts to make the orchestra. So they'd put a screen up so the judges couldn't see anything. All they could listen to was the music. And late last year, someone said, hey, the orchestra is almost entirely white. We need to fix that. So instead of taking the best musicians, now we've made it about skin color. So for 15 years, the only thing they judged you on was your ability to play music.
And
now,
what's sad is it's infected the military. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. That's where I serve, so I love my Marine Corps. But the Marine Corps, for the promotion of staff NCOs, which is E6 and above, and if there's any Marines out there, maybe they'll correct me in comments if I get some of this wrong, because I'm long. I have a lot of distance between when I was in the military. But the way I understand it is, in the past, like when I was in the Marine Corps and you wanted to be promoted to E6 and above, you submitted a file, and that included your photograph. And it showed your photograph in uniform, because the Marine Corps doesn't promote people unless you fit your uniform. That's why you don't see like high-ranking Marines are not overweight. It's not allowed, and you get written up for that if you don't fit right in your uniform, and they will drum you out of the military, out of the Marine Corps if you're just modestly overweight. You're just not allowed to do that. And they were looking at problems in the promotion process, and they thought that, well, if someone sees a picture, well, then maybe there could be a racial bias, right? So we're going to remove the pictures. It actually caused decreased rates of promotion for minority applicants then. So their well-intended idea of, well, let's take the pictures away, it actually backfired. And that's what a lot of this is. It's well-intentioned. Some of it's not. I think some of this stuff is not well-intentioned. But most people, I think that this is a great idea, this DEI and stuff, they have good intentions, but it doesn't play out in reality. And the Marine Corps proved it. And I don't know what the Marine Corps is doing now, because I think they were going to go back to the old system of putting the pictures in, to select people. But that's kind of, I think, what the left does. They have unintended consequences of their actions.
I remember in grade school a teacher saying one time, many times, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
And that's, it was true then, it's true now.
And that's partly what made me a stronger conservative, was also being a police officer, and where you're interjecting in people's lives as a police officer. And sometimes for good reason, right? There's good reasons why we call the police and the police go out and interject in someone's life. But there's also times where law enforcement, federal law enforcement, state law enforcement is doing things that we should just leave people alone for. Yeah. And that power that the government has to really take your freedom away, it's an enormous power, all the way up until taking your life, right? Because a police officer can pull you over. If you're not, compliant, it could end in a shooting. That's something that can happen. Anybody who's a police officer for any length of time is going to have experiences where you almost killed somebody or did. And that's an awesome, awesome amount of power. And you would think the left in this country that originally, you look back the hippie generation, where it was like, don't trust people over 30, right? Things like that.
Right.
Now they want an all-powerful government, all-powerful law enforcement. And I think my time as a government official and as a government police officer, an agent of the government, yeah, I think the vast majority of people I did all had good intentions. We all were trying to do the right thing, but I don't like that the government having that much power.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know if it's Dennis Prager, where he says that every time like the government increases, basically the individual decreases.
Right.
Which is kind of a paraphrase of one of the law philosophers, where he said basically the same thing, but with the law. With every increase in the law, there's a decrease in the individual. And so all these programs, all this DEI, all it does is diminish individuals.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the term well-run government program is an oxymoron.
And it's so true, because, you know, I'm somebody who has worked in a government capacity for most of my life, because I was in the military, I was a police officer, and now I'm a teacher. They do things so poorly. We, you know, you don't necessarily want to privatize everything. We don't necessarily want private police. That's probably not a good idea. But there's very few things the government does well. Very, very few. And it's hard to find. You have to really search to find something that they do well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. As you're saying that, I'm trying to think of one thing. And, I just can't.
Well, I remember years ago, Rush Limbaugh used to say it was the military. But even that, it's not really true anymore. And I don't know if it was ever really true. It's just that we have, you know, on the conservative side, we're generally a little more patriotic, generally a little more supportive of the military and the armed forces. And as someone like me who's a Marine, I mean, I'm, you know, when the Iraq war was going on, I wasn't in, I was already out, but it was like heartbreaking for me, like seeing like, oh, you know, there's people I served with in the Marines that were killed there. I knew police officers who, one of them lost his daughter over there, was killed in an IED. My particular unit that I was attached to, 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, got really hammered in Fallujah. And you think even our military, like with all the bungling of like this Afghanistan withdrawal, all these things, like we're not even doing those jobs very well anymore. You know,
we can't even leave without it being a catastrophe.
No, because it's so politicized. So, you know, I guess you could in theory say if the military was allowed to, but even then you just look at history. We look at World War II. I'm kind of a World War II history buff. We screwed up all kinds of things in World War II. We just won because we were more powerful, right? But there's all kinds of stories of, you know, things that went wrong. You know, the general was like, yes, all right, go do this air raid. And then, you know, half the planes get shot down because they really didn't have good intelligence. So there's very few things that the government does in a really great and efficient manner. And trying to figure out what it is, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going with that's never ever going to change. You know,
no, it's not.
No. I mean,
and that's why we just, you know, everything we can do to make it, I think, as limited as possible.
Yeah.
As less.
Yeah, I think that's, less intrusion on your life, the better.
Now, I'm just hoping I can go to jail for
freedom to buy a
post.
cigar if you want, or a pipe.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Without opening a vein to pay the tax on it. Yeah.
Right, which all of our European and Canadian friends all just get hammered on their taxes. They get, you know, because when you just go north into Canada, what is it, like double the price for tobacco at least?
Well, here in Colorado, the excise tax on pipes, tobacco, and cigar starting January 1 of 2024 was 50% of the manufactured suggested retail price. So,
oh my gosh.
If I buy a pound of, let's say, a tobacco, and I buy it on sale for $39, the manufacturer's suggested price is $55. I pay $27.50 in excise tax.
So you have to
Well-
cross the border and buy some in.
Travel to
running-
Kansas.
Like Smokey and the
Bootlegger.
Bandit.
Yeah. So
Oh, we don't even do that in California. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I would have thought we were the worst, but yeah, we don't even do anything crazy like that.
Yeah. I was stunned
We just pay sales tax.
because I had 2 orders that got held up because the post office caught them and they didn't see the excise tax. So I had to go pay my $92 in excise tax to get the packages. Did I mention how much I
Wow,
enjoy
so I guess I got to
Colorado?
mark Colorado off my list, right?
No. Yeah. And by the way, I'm really enjoying. So I'm in HVAC and have been for a greater part of my adult life. Colorado's trying to go all electric. For those of you that don't know, the least efficient way to heat anything is with electricity. Nothing will consume more power than electricity. And here's the bonus for all of you people that went to heat pumps because they're all electric. They work great until it gets to be about 15 degrees. And when it gets down to -9 like it was last weekend, they're working at about 10% capacity. So if it's a 75,000 BTU, you're getting 7,500 BTUs of heat. What room do you want to heat up? Because you need to choose carefully.
Yeah, it's good. That sounds like something that'll kill people.
Yeah, basically. And the electric companies are all for it because your $200 bill now goes to an $800 bill, and all they
Wow.
see is dollar signs. So there we go. So we've talked enough about politics. Let's try to get back to pipe and tobacco.
All right. Woo.
Yeah. So what's next for Walker Pipes? What are you looking to do in the future? Is there some special project you have in mind?
No, really just like what we talked about before, just trying to get better and better with every pipe. That's my goal. And I'm really trying to, again, I'm going to try to limit myself because I have a bit of an addictive personality where if I let myself, I'd be making pipes all the time in my spare time. I would be just like trying to, make them, but I'm trying to limit myself 1 to 2 a month of the best quality that I can do, and constantly improving. That's really where I'm going. And I kind of hope to keep that up for the long term with that plan.
Do you think you'll get to maybe the Vegas show in October?
It's possible. I've
If
been
not-
wanting to go for a long time. I wouldn't probably set up a table or anything like that because I don't know if I will make enough pipes to, but I would like to just go and see and meet people. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, we met some great guys from the San Diego Pipe Club. In fact, we had them on the show a couple weeks ago. And you'll meet a lot of great people at the shows.
Well,
Yeah, I've been wanting to go ever since I started, pipe smoking in 2018. And now a little more able to do so now because my kids are older. Both my kids are adults now. So, I guess sort of adults, 20 and 22. I don't know if that qualifies yet.
okay.
It's
So
old enough. It depends on if they're off the payroll or not.
One is
okay.
There you go.
Any
That's an
any
adult.
grandkids yet?
50%. Not yet, but, it gives my wife a heart attack because I tell her it could happen anytime now. The 22-year-old's got the serious girlfriend anytime now. But my wife does not like it when I say that. So don't let her see this video. So block it. But yes, but not yet.
Yeah.
But, hopefully within the next few years. Because both mine are still in college. They're both still in school and trying to figure out really where they're going in life. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Two boys, boy and a girl.
a boy and a girl. And my daughter's an artist, so for her, college is just not really. She's just trying to become a better artist. She's probably not going to get a degree, but she's just doing things like learning graphic design and learning things so she can make a living off of it. But I think she has zero intention of having any sort of degree, just getting better at what she does.
Yeah.
And,
just having
I'm
a
pretty
skill set.
confident
nothing
she'll
wrong
be
with
able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
No.
Just focused.
Yeah. And
No,
that comes.
and even somebody who I make my living at a college is not the best path for everyone, or is it a guarantee that you're going to have any sort of success? Not having a degree, I think probably most of when you look at some of the uber successful people in the world, they don't have degrees.
Indiana
Jim?
Indiana University invited not to come back for anything after my third year. Hey Jim, great run. Too bad you kind of you kind of Blutarski'd it up. Jim, fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. I'm good,
Yeah,
thanks. So
because a degree is really only necessary if it is a hoop you have to jump through for a specific job.
yeah,
You want to be a doctor, you need a degree. You want to be a psychiatrist, you want to be an engineer, but pretty much anything else, it's just go out and do it.
Jim, did you get to use the immortal line? 7 years of college down the drain.
No, I only made it to 3. I got to the third year, and I had to take French the last year I was there. And this is what I can say in French. Ah oui, Denis Goulet. Which means, oh yes, Denis Goulet. So that's the extent of the French that I can,
I know omelette du fromage, but that's from Steve Martin. It's an old Steve Martin joke.
Yeah. Oh, we could bring you a shoe covered with cheese. You'll never know the difference. Exactly. And I said,
shove it down my throat.
And I took the class because someone once gave me the great advice that chicks dig guys that can speak French. No,
So you could kiss
maybe not
French,
anymore.
No. I think that went by the wayside. That's a movie trope. So, all right, excellent. Well, Kurt, did you want to run off to dinner, or do you want to stick around for a little while longer?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go and take leave and go get some dinner. My wife made an excellent dinner tonight. I've recently converted to Orthodox Christianity, Eastern Orthodox. And so on Wednesdays and Fridays, they're fast days for us, which just means we can't have meat, cheese, and dairy. So we've been learning to cook differently. So on these days, we're doing the dreaded vegan diet.
That's all right.
I never thought in my life,
purpose.
I never thought I would eat vegan. But basically, they don't call it that, but that's basically what an Orthodox fast is on Wednesdays and Fridays. You basically eat like vegan from sunup or till, that 24-hour period. So, but my wife's fantastic because she's really taken to learning how to cook stuff that's good, but, satisfies us. But I guarantee you tomorrow morning I will be having eggs.
All right.
I'll be back.
Well,
with butter.
Eggs.
With butter.
And I think tomorrow we're going to cook some steaks. So I'm only vegan on fast days.
All right.
There you go.
That'll make Alan happy, the resident vegan that he sends me hate mail because I'm not, now for
Something
Lent,
tells me though that he's not Eastern Orthodox though.
no,
Right.
probably.
And it's not actually it's not a biblical prescription or whatever. It's a church ideal to have some discipline and devote a couple of, these days where then you're thinking and you're trying to get yourself in a more spiritual mindset for the day. And part of that is, regulating what you eat. And you're supposed to eat like smaller portions. You're not supposed to starve yourself. You're nothing like that. And I found it very satisfying. I like it. I don't like the vegan food. I struggle on those days trying to get, but I like the practice. I think it seems for me it's been a healthy practice.
All right. Well,
but I wouldn't do it 7 days a week. 7 days a week, I'd have to find I couldn't do it. I don't think so.
Tim and I are both Roman Catholic, so we're there with you during Lent. No meat on Fridays. So unless it's fish, which really isn't a meat, it's just decorative.
So
You say it's decorative.
Yeah.
Oh, look, salmon! Yay! Mm.
Yay again.
I'm just going to eat the oven mitt if that's okay, honey. I'll skip on.
I think there was that comedian. I can't remember his name right now, but he always says that, like fish is it's barely edible. And or it was Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec where he said
Yeah.
fish is for sport only.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
I actually do enjoy fresh caught fish,
Oh, I
but
do
here in Colorado, I like saltwater fish a little better. So
All right.
I'm gonna
Well,
pass.
awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Curtis,
And
pleasure meeting you.
it was
Yeah,
great to meet you, Tim. And Jim, I just hope that new pipe smokes well for you. And
Oh, it
And you're
smokes like
happy
a
with
dream, and I'm just fanboy here, sitting here listening, talking
thank
to you. Because you and I've had a fairly good relationship, and it's worked out well for you, and really worked out well for me because I love your pipes. In fact, I had the little poker today, and my boss is like, "Where'd you get that?" I said, "Oh, it's a Walker pipe." He goes, "Okay, I think I need one of those." All right, fair enough. We'll
you
get
got
you
to
set
tell
up
them I
with
don't
a
make
poker.
those anymore.
Oh, good. Thanks. That'll help.
Because that was something I was doing before, just making like a lower entry level pipe, and I just don't do it anymore because it takes too much time. You
Well,
end up making the same time to do it, and so now I just do the full price pipes.
Yeah. Well, this is the gigantic poker that I've got, and I absolutely love it because it smokes Virginias. It's got that long, narrow chamber. It's just a
Yeah.
fantastic Virginia pipe. So, just excellent work. I love your pipes, and
Oh well, thank you again. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all soon.
all right. Thanks, Kurt.
All right.
Appreciate you
Thanks,
coming
Kurt.
on with us.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. So,
Hey,
it's
interesting
me.
guy. That was great.
Yeah, he was. It's another guy that Tinker. It's kind of a long-standing tradition with Tinker to introduce me to people, and the next thing you know, I got a bucket full of their pipes. So. This evening, I'm trying to sterilize my bloodstream using Basil Hayden red wine cask finish. I just had a taste for it tonight, so that's what I'm
Oh, nice.
drinking.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, what are you drinking tonight?
All right. I'm not having any alcohol tonight. We're getting up early tomorrow, and we're heading south. We're going to Florida.
Do you want to turn in the man card now, Tim? I mean, what better way to get on a plane than...
Clint Eastwood said, man's got to know limitations.
Yeah, well, yeah. A good man, a great man has no limitations, Tim. Drink up. All right. So, back to the regularly scheduled program. What's new at your house, Tim?
Well, been working on a couple of things. I'm trying to get commissions done and then begin building pipes for the show in March in Muletown.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put up one for the show.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's got some fossilized mammoth tusk on the shank, and there's that one. And
Oh,
then
now that's kind of
one.
like a tulip Danish egg, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a Danish egg with a tulip flair to it.
Oh,
Yep.
and I really like is that rusticated or is that blasted?
No, that's rusticated. It's use a Fordham tool with a burr on it,
Oh, okay.
and just just etch it. And it's sort of the same thing. Then this one's a commission billiard with the same sort of technique used on it. You want
look.
a black and a dark green stem. It's hard to tell. This stem is really cool. It's got black with green swirls in it, and then there's also some looks like I don't know, maybe like a violet color or something like that in it. So yeah,
very nice.
So anyway, and yeah, I've been just working on commissions and I've been working through some of that tobacco that you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that I've been enjoying. I know it's got a lot of black Cavendish in it. It's a Nubis.
Oh, Nubis Oscuro?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
smells delicious.
Yeah. That was one that I was just, it's another one of those things where I was sitting here thinking, what haven't I done? Well, let's try this. And that's what came out of it. And I liked it, but, I haven't put it on the blend list yet simply because that's the hardest part for me. Everything I make is to my taste. So,
Yeah, no, I like it. It's what all's in it?
Hold on, I'll tell you here in a second. So, Nubis Oscura is something, something, and something. No, in fact, it's on my new blend list. So hold on, let me scroll down and find out where it is.
Problem is you got too many blends.
Yeah, it's kind of the problem. I think I'm going to cull the list and just cut it down because I have a bunch of stuff that nobody like looks at, nobody touches. So I've overdone it a bit.
Yeah. Well, you get too many and things become obscured. Get
Yeah,
buried
a
in the
little.
pile.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, Tim, that's going to be a one and done blend. Oh, here it is.
Oh, is that right? Oh.
No, here it is. I have it in the something else. So it's stoved red, or it's stoved Virginia, black Cavendish, long cut Virginia, and Perique.
There's not much Perique in it. Doesn't seem
no,
like there's much in it.
A very small percentage, and I get my Perique from whole leaf, and it would be what I would consider to be the tamest of the Periques. I was talking to Adam from Get Piped about, because, I'm really not a Perique fan. Okay. Well, the reason I use Perique is I don't want to put anything, I don't want to case it or top it so that it makes it pH neutral. And when you add Perique to a blend, it helps bring it to more of a neutral state because Perique has a high alkaline content and it helps keep it pH neutral. So that's why I use Perique in a lot of blends, because if you don't, there's a school of thought that if it's got a high acidic content, it can cause tongue bite. Okay, I kind of agree with that. I don't know if I wholeheartedly. I think moist and hot causes more tongue bite than an acidic content, but we'll go with it. So, Nubis Oscura.
It's good. I like it.
Oh,
I like
all
it.
right.
Yeah. And the agent court, I worked on that some, but the pipe that I had it in two pipes, but I'd been smoking other stuff in those pipes, and I only got one bowl out of each one. I should have just gone back to the same pipe and smoked it again, but I was picking up all different kinds of stuff, so I still got to work on that one a little bit.
Well,
figure out where I come down on it,
Yeah, and that was a blend for my friend Eric, the one that sends me the Pikesville rye. He was specific about what he wanted, and I'm going to put it on the light English side because the Latakia percentage on it is fairly low, and it's got some Virginias and Orientals in it, and it is not a heavy English. And I wanted you to just try it because it fell into the English family, but my concern for you smoking was it didn't have like an overwhelming Latakia taste. And I know that you and I are both Latakia fans, but it's a nice change of pace blend for me, and Eric really liked it, but it was made for him. So
there's a lot of them there. I don't know. Would you send me
10 or 11, something like that?
I think like 15 different blends there.
Well, and
it's going to be a while.
And that's okay. I've got enough blends on the list. It's just that, I was looking at stuff and I just wanted you to try it and see what you thought of it. So,
oh man, I really appreciate it.
All right. Anything else new at your house?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, in tobacco that's new, as y'all know, I'm not a huge aromatic fan, but my favorite aromatic is Blue Note from Dan Tobacco. And Smoking Pipe sent me an email on Monday saying, hey, we got the 250-ounce bags in. So I got a bag of that, and that'll go in the jar here momentarily. And then there's this amazing pipe maker I know named Tim Beaumont. You may recognize him. He's the other guy in the frame. And I sent him my collection of Lorenzo pipes, and I want to show you guys this. And what makes this stem so incredibly special is that it's briar. It's a briar stem, and I've already put the pipe condom on it. And Justin, I'm speaking to you from Pipes, Pores, and Pals. There are some of us that have jagged teeth and are clinchers, and if we don't put a pipe condom on it, we will cut through them with our teeth. I know. I've cut through acrylic. I've cut through ebonite. I have cut through every flavor of pipe stem that you can make. And I would have this done in a day.
Like a beaver.
Oh yeah, because my canine tooth on the left side is razor sharp, and in fact, if you look at some of the stems, you can actually see the bite. Well, no, there's bite marks in all of my the condoms that I put on the pipes, and I absolutely love the work of the pipe makers, and damaging them because of my stupid teeth is just not acceptable to me. So I put a pipe condom on all of them. So
Justin was giving you shit about putting pipe condoms on.
Well, he gives his partner Nate shit about it, and it's like kind of a dick move. But Nate's like me; he's a clincher, and
right.
We got to give Justin a little crap every now and then because I love those guys, and he was giving Nate crap about it on the latest episode. So I thought I'd just fire back at him and say,
Come on,
stop
lay off, will you?
Yeah, Nate's protecting.
It's not like he's eating salad or anything. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. It's not like he's sitting out in a duck blind shooting ducks that he can't retrieve. No, that's not at all what he's doing. And then I got, surprisingly enough, Tim made these Christmas pipes, and the Christmas Zulu showed up at my house this week. And I had 2 bowls through it yesterday. It is absolutely my dream smoke. It's a little bit wider and a little bit deeper bowl, and it just absolutely loved. I had Palo Torcido through it, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved the way the flavor came through. It was absolutely fantastic. So well done, Mr. Beaumont. Though those are
good.
The 2 pipes that came in. And then my new friend, Ryan, at Smoking Barrel Briars. And this is the dilemma for me. If you want to attract me, put attractive pipes on your Instagram and I will find you. And I got this, it's called the Robin Egg.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, and it's got a very light blue stem, which I think is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got the white adornment. And it's just a really neat, and I believe that's a blast, and you'll have to tell me, Tim, because it looks like a blast.
Yeah, it looks like it. Sure. Uh-huh.
And it's got the slight bend to it, so it hit all the numbers, and we're going to have Ryan on in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk to him about his pipes. But that's Ryan at Smoking Barrel Pipes, and we're going to have him on soon. I'm still trying to get Mark from Lone Star Briars on too. I'll have to have a conversation with him. But that's kind of what's new. I have a...
and I'll reach out to Neil at Garage Made Pipe Tools.
I would love to.
It's been a while since I've chatted with him. We should have him on if he'll do it.
Yeah, and he's a tattoo artist, so we can talk to him.
That'd be cool.
My son-in-law and daughter are both tattoo folks, and they've got some extensive. My daughter has a full sleeve that is the artistry and amount of time that took. I can't even fathom.
Oh yeah, right.
So that would be cool to talk to him. So. Excellent. So that's what's new. We've covered what's new. Are you ready for the Ask Us Anything questions, Tim?
I am ready. I'm ready.
All right. Oh, before I go any further, I just wanted to bring this up because we talked a little bit about politics with Kurt, and you and I had a conversation off the air. I got more than a couple of direct messages and 2 emails about having Dr. Alan Harrelson on the podcast. Get over it. Yeah, we're going to have him on. He is an interesting character in the YTPC, and I want to hear what he has to say. And if you're so brittle that someone's opinion is something that you can't handle, okay, carry on.
There's an on-off switch on your computer.
Yeah.
Hit the off switch if you don't like it. You know.
Well, Tim and I both are in complete agreement. We're just doing this for fun. We're not doing this for money. We're not doing this for fame. It was just spawned. It was an idea that we spawned, that it would be fun to talk about stuff. And we want to interview anybody we can from the pipe community. This is a gracious, warm, and welcoming place. And, if a difference of opinion is what drives you away from something,
come on.
Yeah, maybe it's time to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Or like I told my son early, alas, poor Yorick, I shall take you to where my fucks are grown, and you can see that the field is barren. Yeah, no.
Right. There's just something like, it's sort of like there's something about you that I don't like about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that people need to remember. Just because their opinion is different than yours doesn't make their opinion wrong. It's just different. And it's okay to be different. People that have tattoos, I'm good. Tattoos don't bother me. You want to live a different lifestyle? Good for you. I'm good with it. I'm not going to try to espouse my virtues onto you, and I hope that you don't try to do that to me. That's, live and let live, kind of. You know? What you do in the
100% on board. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to have Dr. Harrelson on because I, to be honest with you, I'm kind of impressed with the guy. He's got almost 30,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I know. It's crazy.
Social media network. He has his own website, and I think he's going to get back into pipes and tobacco. He was in South Carolina when I was there. And he was one of the channels I listened to, a very well-educated, well-spoken man. And I'm really looking forward to our interview. And I'm hoping it's...
The guy plays a banjo like it's on fire, too.
Yeah. A very talented man.
Talented. Yeah.
And again, you might not agree with his opinions, and that's okay. We're okay with that, But we're going to interview him anyway. And get on with our bad selves.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah, pretty much. We had Lance come on tonight and talk about pipes, and we're going to have Chad come on and talk about his pipes, and hopefully we can get Tommy on at some point. Yeah. And if you want to join us to talk about your pipes, please come on. We'd love to have you. This is, pipe and tobacco talk, and it's mostly pipes because we like pipes.
We had Tommy Elliott. He'd like to come on and talk about his.
Yeah. And hopefully Chad gets back safely.
Oh, and Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson wants to come on and talk about his.
Yeah. So, and we're really, Lance came in and talked about his pipes, and that was great. I really enjoyed it because I want to hear what everybody smokes. If you're a Cobb guy and you only smoke Missouri Meerschaum, come on out and talk about them. We'll talk about it. That's
well. The other cool thing too is we've got 7, 8, 9 subscribers now. I'd like to see what they look like. Come on and talk to us.
Yeah, actually, we're up to 200 as of this evening, just before we came on.
Get out of here. Yeah. Really?
And I think we need to do something special for when we hit 300. So if you're enjoying the show, like and subscribe. When we get to 300, Tim and I will come up with something special. We'll do something weird. We'll get Mitchell and Sarah from MBSD Pipes to help us. And by the way, thank you all so much. Sarah's episode is now our most watched episode. It's up to 411 views. And Sarah was a hoot. And she was like, I was so nervous. I felt like a fish out of water. No, not at all. Sarah, you killed it. Yeah. In fact, we're going to read, after we get through the Ask Us Anything, I'm going to read some comments from people that actually watched the episode. So well done, Sarah. Good job.
She's a lovely person. And, we get nothing but these ugly mugs on here. You get a lovely lady, great personality and everything. People are going to watch.
We got a ton of comments on her parenting. That people were just, how you kept a teenager from having a cell phone. Way to go, Sarah. That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So another new segment that we're going to do is I'm going to read. We got some great comments, and we haven't read nearly enough of them. So I've got a page or two of comments from folks after we get through the Ask Us Anything. Just to say thank you to the listeners for, we read your comments. We've got them, and we're going to read some of them on the air. So you posted them on Facebook. You posted them on YouTube. We got you. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Are you ready for your question,
I'm ready.
Tim?
Go.
So in what should surprise no one, this is from @Noah's House. And Noah wants to know, Tim, do you have any plans of doing a series set or a 7-day rotation set?
I've thought about it off and on. I don't have a specific plan. That would be something that I would do for someone, I think. And the reason is, if I made a series of 7, like a rotation set, I'll either have that set forever and just smoke it myself, or I'll sell them off one at a, piecemeal, and it won't end up as a set because it's kind of a narrow market for that kind of thing. But if somebody came to me and wanted give me a 7, a 1 week long rotation of pipes and make them, an assortment, or make them of all one type of shape or something like that, I would do that, and that would be fun to do. But to just do it to, market it as a
7-day set,
a seven pipe set, that's a big downstroke for somebody. You're talking, $1,500, something like that, $1,600. It's a chunk of change.
Spendy. I have a 7-day set, completely accidental, from Corey at ABBS. Corey makes these very deep, very attractive Dublins, and I had bought a couple of them, and then he made me a deal on 2 of them, so I had 5, and then I got 2 more to have a 7-day set, but it wasn't planned. It's just like I have 7 similar Dublin pipes from Corey, but I don't, even with my pipe acquisition disorder, I think it would be a stretch to make a 7-day set and have somebody buy it.
Yeah. That's been my thinking. Yeah.
It would be my thought if somebody wanted it. Okay, well, you buy a pipe this month, and then I'll make you another one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's how you would do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll build the set. You don't have to pay for it all at once, but I'll build it when you're ready for the next one in the set. So.
Right. And that's a big undertaking in the shop too. You'd have to do it. I would have to do it that way. Do a pipe this month, and then maybe in a month or 6 weeks do another one. Because if I devote, it'd take me a week and a half to do all 7, and then it might not be that good because you kind of get burnt out on making the same shape over and over again, for example.
Yeah. And the whole, again, I love Dublins, so I like pipe. It's got to have a bend to it. Although I do have quite a collection of billiards, I want it curved a little bit, and I know curved pipes take a little bit longer. There's more work involved in it, so there we go. All right, so Noah has a question for me. Will you start selling flake cut? You have that beautiful cutter. No, probably not. And the reason being, because I make the pucks and they're round, cutting them into flakes, you will always have the end, the both ends that are a little different. And then if I ever got to pressing squares or rectangles, I would think about it. But I haven't built. Tinker was working on a version of a rectangular press or a square press for me, and I just haven't got that far. And you talked last week about having a difficult time keeping your flake cut burning. That promotional blend that you got.
Right, sure.
And broken flakes and flake cuts like that, that's just my fear. If I send you a puck and you cut off a slice and you rub it out, it'll burn fine. But broken flakes, people see it and say, "Oh, it's broken already. I'll just put it in my pipe." It is a little more difficult to smoke, and you have to work at it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's probably not anything coming anytime soon. So there you go, Noah. Thank you so much.
Understandable.
Yeah. And by the way, he did a great video this morning. It's Friday, so that Tim's disappearing to Florida for a week. So we're recording on Friday night, and Noah did a great video on Dreek Cruve, which is the bergamot flavored light English blend that I made. So well done, Noah. Well done. Sigelman Tony from Rhode Island wants to know, gentlemen, I have some basket pipes that I would like to play around with and convert to 9mm. Do you know where I can purchase the 9mm coupler that goes between the stem and the shank? Tim?
I do not. I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know where you get a thing like that.
Okay, so Tony, I bought a handful of them from Simon at LCS Briars last year, because I
Wait a minute,
was
you talking about the tenon, the actual little
the tenon
nylon tenon. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought there was a part that you converted, a regular tenon stem to a 9mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I got gobs of those things around here. But you got to
All
be able to drill the shank out to put
to make the tenon fit.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough order.
All right.
I would say that you'd have to, if you're going to do it, go bit by bit, literally bit by bit. So, whatever if you've got a 3/8 tenon, go a little bit bigger. And then once you get that cleared, go a little bit bigger and just take thin shavings off until you get up to a 10.2mm opening so that it'll accept that tenon.
Okay. All right. So Sigelman Tony, if you want to know more about it, get a hold of Tim and he'll kind of walk you through the process. I'll tell you, since I went to the Nording Stones, I haven't used a filter in anything. In fact, I bought 9-4 or 9-3 adapters to convert the pipes over. And if it has a 6mm filter, I bought 6-3 adapters and just use the Stones. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hold on. I've disconnected my computer. Are you still with me, Tim? Oh, there we
I'm
are.
here.
All right. IDK, guess me. So that's, I don't know, guess me. Good show. How do we win the Peterson pipe? Tim, it's time to talk about our next contest, and I'm wild about this.
This is the misheard lyrics contest.
The misheard, mangled song lyrics. And y'all know my personal favorite from Mississippi Queen. You know she's like a badger. She moves better on fire, which are not at all the lyrics. So we're going to post. Mitchell has the pipe to us in the mail. We should get it Tuesday. I will post pictures of it Thursday and Friday. And next week when we have Glenn on, we are going to do the mangled, misheard song lyrics. So there's lots of songs that have mangled lyrics. And again, I brought up Mississippi Queen, and I'm sure Tim has a couple that come to mind immediately.
Yeah. Remember the one, Oh Black Betty?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Oh Black Baby, Bambalance. Bambalance.
You know, I was talking to my son about this before we came on the air, and there's a Cars song from 1978 called Bye Bye Love.
Yeah.
And it's the actual lyrics are, it's just a broken lullaby.
Right.
And forever, I thought the lyrics were, it's just a perfumed alibi. Because, and when I looked at the lyrics of the song, it's like, well, I think a perfumed alibi would have been better than a broken lullaby.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, it was so disheartening because, it's just a perfumed alibi. Bye. No, it's broken lullaby, Jim. All right.
Shoot.
And
I thought I had that.
Yeah, I thought I had that one nailed. No, wrong again, Jim. And then, like the Beatles song, The Girl with Colitis Goes By. No, it's not the girl with colitis. It's the girl with kaleidoscope eyes. That's, there was a comedian back in the 80s that did a whole routine.
Colitis Goes By.
Yeah, the girl with colitis goes by. And, my dad and I talk about mangled song lyrics all the time. And I thought, you know what, this is going to be the perfect contest. So send us your mangled lyrics.
Yeah. Send your the mangle, and then send us the real lyrics.
That's right.
Because where it's funny is seeing the mangled against the real lyrics.
Yeah.
And how far off you could. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was posting in the Pipes, Pores, and Pigskins League. Somebody made a Grease reference, the movie Grease.
Yeah.
And the song says, I've got chills, they're multiplying. And when I saw the movie, I thought it said, I got shoes, they're made of plywood. And I just wrote,
that would actually be appropriate.
And I sent, somebody posted the Grease picture, and then I sent in, I got shoes, they're made of plywood. And Justin texted back, he goes, I had to Google that, but I'm laughing, crying. So there you go. So I don't know, guess me. It's mangled song lyrics. We'll post it. Here's the rules. As always, tag 15 people you don't know. Send an Etch-a-Sketch picture of what you want to win. No, just send us the real lyrics and your mangled version. We'll read them all on the air, and that's going to be the Peterson giveaway. And thank you to MBSD Pipes. We're getting a Peterson St. Patrick's Day pipe, so that'll be cool.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks to Mitchell and Sarah for that. They're great sponsors. Great sponsors.
Are. And I didn't want to bring this up to Mitchell, but I guess I'll bring it up on the air. Sarah's got a lap on you now. Sarah has double the number of viewers that you had, Mitchell. So just not to make you feel bad or make you feel like you're in second place, but your wife is kicking your ass. So there you go. And I'm going to read some. I thought we'd start something new, just to kind of finish off the show. That we've had so many great people comment on stuff, and we've never said anything about it. So I kind of wanted to read some comments from folks that have been watching our show. So our friend Richard Bro, who both of us know, and I think he's got a couple of your pipes, or at least a pipe of yours, or two. Great show, guys. As an avid fan of Garrett, having 3 of his pipes, several tampers from him, it was great to see him and catch up on his progress in the pipe world. Well, thank you, Richard. We appreciate that. We appreciate you coming on the show and talking to us. At Noah's house, we love the guy. He was awesome. We had a fun interview with him. Gardening, pipes. What's better? It was great to hear from Garrett. Definitely time to get one of his pipes. More giveaways. Wow. The guest lineup for the future is stacked. Can't wait. Yeah, we're pretty excited. And, we're booked out now till the middle of March, and we're going to add more people. We do want to get Neil Monet, and I know Tim has some other folks that he wants to get on. And again, if you want to come on and talk about your 5 favorite pipes, we're going to lead the show with that from now on. So come on in and join us. So, our friend Terry Brewster, who we also have on the show. Great show again, Big Meat and Salad Shooter. Garrett was a great guest. Mike from Bishop Pipes, who I didn't kill, which I'm kind of excited about, said he's part of our pipe club. So Garrett is actually part of the Long Island Pipe Club. So well done, Garrett. Well done. Challenger Dart 3731 comes onto our show every week and leaves us a comment. And the comment is exactly the same every time. Excellent vid, guy. Thanks a lot. Have a great week. Challenger Dart, thank you for watching.
Thanks.
You comment every week, and we really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
That's great.
And then Blake's Pipe comments every week as well, too. And he has his own YouTube channel. So if you're not checking out Blake's Pipe, check him out. He's a unique character in the pipe community, and I like his videos. So make sure you check him out. He goes, I have to compliment this lady you had on. She's friendly, long hair, a real mom raising her kids, no cell phones for kids, no TV in the bedrooms for kids. If only I had found her before my first 2 wives. Glad her husband and her are on the same page. Thank you, Blake. That was.
He's not really glad.
He's not really glad because,
No, he's not really glad.
Nothing says success like 2 I'm not married anymore certificates. So, and I think Tim and I are on the same page. If we outlive our wives, we're never doing this again.
No, one and
No.
done.
No. And
One and
then
done.
I wanted to read one, and I have to pull it up on my phone because I couldn't print it out. And this is from, shoot, wrong. So we actually have some UK listeners, and I wanted to give him a big shout out because I really appreciate him coming on, and watching the show. I've got a couple to read. So the first one I want to read to you is from Piper X1X or Piper 10110. Hey guys, just found this channel and hello from North Yorkshire. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Their pudding is fabulous.
See, there you go. And as one who has visited your beautiful country on several occasions, thank you for joining us. Can't wait for the next installation, and I've subbed you. So thank you so much.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate that. And then we have Yusuf Syed, who's got his own YouTube channel, and he's a very positive guy. If you want to be uplifted every day and you don't want sophomoric humor, which you're getting from us, because that's what we specialize in.
Yep.
Good morning. Beautiful pipes you gents are smoking. Great show. Appreciate your time and content. Have a blessed day. Syed, thank you. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's
Very
very
nice.
thoughtful of you.
Nice man.
Yeah. We're very excited. And then there's one more that I wanted to read if I can find it. Azalea Piper. Solid show, fellas. Great chat with Aaron. A true value to the pipe community. Yeah. We thought Aaron was excellent. Yeah. And Tim patronizes him. Did you get your commission pipe yet?
I got pictures of it. But he just finished it. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Exactly. Tamper Proof sent us this. Great interviews with an awesome dude and an excellent teacher. So Aaron killed it. I thought that was one of our really more interesting interviews because I really thought he was crying during the episode. He was laughing so hard.
I don't know if you can.
Oh, look at that. Wow. What a great stem color on that. It's like an orange and black and red swirl.
Yeah. And he contrast dyed the bowl. I can't wait to get that.
Yeah. And Two Nuts 2 is sending me some stickers for my board. I posted a picture of my sticker board, and she said, I'm going to send you a sticker. Thank you so much. When I get your package, I will send you, you'll get a couple of coasters and a magnet and some stickers from us, and we thank you for watching the show. So,
how about this? Now, you saw that picture I sent you of Craig Herzog's jet lathe.
Yeah.
With none other than our warning. He has a magnet, one of our warning magnets, and he has it smack on his lathe. Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Well,
and I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? I got a lathe, and I got stickers. I didn't put that sticker on my lathe. I deserve to be flogged.
Well, I mean, it's your show, Tim. Heaven forbid,
right?
That you promote us a little bit.
Yeah. What's the matter with me?
Yeah. Now, you're going to be gone. You come home when? Saturday night? Sunday morning?
Yeah. Week tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you're going to Florida to Tampa?
Yeah.
Is that right? Someplace around Tampa?
Siesta Key.
I don't know where that is, Tim.
Sarasota.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll record.
And it's supposed to be in the mid 70s next week.
Yeah, and I'm excited to get Glenn on. I've tried to get a pipe from him twice, and I've struggled a little bit. So hopefully when we get him on the air, we can talk off the air, and I can get myself a Tensky pipe because, again, another fantastic member of the pipe community. He's the one that set up the Instagram Pipe Makers Club, and
right.
We have a ton to talk about with Glenn, and I really look forward to talking with him. So
yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, he's a good
So,
guy. And I'm assuming he's still going to sell the naked Tinskys. I thought that was a great. I didn't
oh
care
yeah,
what kind of pipe. He said, "What kind do you want? You know, what shape?" I don't care. I just want one of your pipes with that with the logo on it. And so next week I'll show one of his pipes, and I'll show the naked Tinsky's logo. It's
all right.
perfect.
Well, it is. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So, great show. Kurt was a hoot, and like I said, I've had a running conversation with Kurt for the last year and a half. And he's an interesting character. If you haven't been to his YouTube channel, check out Professor Walker. He leans. So, full disclosure, he leans a little bit farther to the right, but we really don't care. We are not politically biased in any way, and like I said, I was kind of butthurt about the amount of feedback we got, and someone that I met recently that got flack for Alan Harrelson too, and it's like, no, we're having Alan on.
Yeah.
Full.
We take all comers here.
Yeah.
We take all comers here. Yeah.
Full effing send. I don't. Whatever your political ideology is, that's fine. Come on the show and we'll talk to you. And I'd really like to get Jack from Jack Ryan Pipes on, but that would be where we'd have to record sometime in the morning. So, and I would love to have Simon on, and I haven't asked either one of them, but I do want to talk to both Jack and Simon to see if they'll come on, because Simon has had an influence on both of us. And I'm
with Simon, we could do it. We'd have to do it after sometime between 12 and 3 Eastern on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
For Simon, yeah.
Yeah, and the same
That's
with Jack.
doable.
Yeah, and Jack's in the UK, in Scotland, so I'll reach out to both of them and see if we can't get them both scheduled on, because I'd love to have Jack Ryan Pipes on and LCS Briars. We'd love to interview both of them. Simon does a ton of videos and he does live. Let me talk to you about this, Tim, while we're on the air and discussing our channel. Have we ever thought about doing a live where we just go live and sit on YouTube and hang out?
We've never talked about it. Something to consider.
Is that something safe for us to do, or do you think it's better to let Ben filter us a little bit?
No, I don't think Ben does much filtering at all. I think the only time he does any kind of editing is when something goes fluey with the internet or something like that, and you get a gap, and he's got to close it up to make it. So when you watch it or listen to it, you don't get a gap. But he's not cutting out any content. The only, I think when we get 300 subscribers, that'll be about the time that we would want to go live, right? Because you want to get want somebody to listen to you, to be on there with you,
All right.
Because the cool thing with that is you get to read comments. People can participate in the conversation.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I miss West for this reason. I did 3 lives with West. You did a live with West. And I miss Order of the Pipe. I miss West, and I've reached out to him a half a dozen times now. No response from anything. And I wish West would come back.
I know. I think about him every once in a while, and we're just wondering, what in the world? Where'd he go? What happened?
And he's active on Facebook, but he's in dog groups, like show dogs and
dogs. Okay.
Yeah, and rescue dogs, and I think he just moved away from pipes and tobacco, and I have to say that I miss him. So
yeah, he don't call, he don't write.
Yeah, exactly. And I owe him an extreme debt of gratitude. So I'd like to have West on sometime too, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And
all right.
Lastly, if there's a pipe maker or tobacconist that you'd like to have us have, that you'd like to see on the show and get the 60 minutes Mike Wallace grilling that we're so famous for, this rambling morass of nonsense that we do, leave a comment below. Leave a comment on Apple, leave a comment on Spotify, leave a comment on YouTube, and or a direct message, either Tim or I, and
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
go
try
from
to
there.
make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the live thing, we'll have to talk to our engineer to see what the possibilities are.
Yeah, we'll talk to Ben. So excellent. Well, Tim, have safe travels tomorrow. Enjoy your trip
Yeah,
to
thank you.
Florida. I'm going to go out and shoot
Will
a
do.
walrus later tomorrow, so that'll be fun.
Please. I hear the blubber's delicious.
Well, my, we, in case Cave Pig shows up, we need to have at least 400 pounds of meat.
Step away from the carcass, Cave Pig.
Don't make me get the cattle prod for you, Cave Pig. Just back away slowly.
Don't make eye contact with her.
Yeah, and just keep your hands and feet away from her mouth. That's all we ask for.
Don't piss her off.
Nah, not a bit.
All right, pal.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks. Good night.